Good morning.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm tired. You're my last call. I've been on all day. I'm so tired.
It's like, this is it. I'm over it.
I wanted to get them out in 2020. So thank you for letting me complete. I had 8 more dolls that I needed to get on their schedule, and y'all all accommodated me today, so I appreciate that.
No problem.
So we're just going to spend 15 minutes going over what had happened, get the feedback. Just tell me about Christmas 2020. How was it?
I think I had already shared a previous call how different this year was than last year, and for obvious reasons. I actually reached out to the mothers who were supposed to be on my call, which I knew one lady, she was saying she might have a problem because she got called into work. Another lady, her family was dealing with a COVID outbreak, so I was expecting to have it be really slim.
Mm-hmm. But not that slim. And I was reminded of kind of like my first years where I was really frustrated with some of the Kansas City people, and I was like, listen, you guys are always asking for, African American events and events for the children and give backs, and then we do this, and then this happened. So I feel like this kind of gives me I took this year as a prep for like a dry run. Or if we continue to roll out in a similar format going forward, I will personally be more prepared and probably a little more aggressive with pre-planning. I will take the onus of not really pushing some of the church people I was working with to kind of get with their members and get back to me in a timely fashion. I know they have a process, and I was not as pushy with them because I know they were also dealing with COVID issues and different things that they were doing for their church. So I will be a lot more aggressive or purposeful in my outreach going forward, and really try to get a lot of people more engaged. I think because it was a different format, and because I had a lot of people that were, let me know if you're still doing it. I'd love to participate. And then I got it to them, and then they took a long time to get back to me. And I just did not really get aggressive to push back and forth or really engage in that dialogue. And I will take the blame for that. But the people I had, I thought they were so enthusiastic. I was like, okay, great. So I just took it more as a learning lesson that I'll have to, I'm still dealing with some folks that are not as tech savvy in some cases, and really just aren't always amenable to when you change something. Yep.
So
that part. That's exactly it. I think that combined with maybe you weren't as enthusiastic about selling it because it's not really what you wanted.
I think that, and then I think that I was excited to work with some of the same people at the church from last year, and some of those people weren't as responsive to me in the beginning, so I ended up having a different contact, and that kind of took a lot of the wind out of the sails. Did that contact leave, or what happened? No, one lady, she is no longer over the youth ministry or the kids' church, so she was referring me to someone else. And the second lady that really helped me last year, she was dealing with COVID, and by the time she got back to me, actually it was like way past even deadline. So she finally did email me back. She said, I apologize. She said, I have not been checking my email. I've just been dealing with, family members and COVID. And I went, I understand. No worries. I go, we'll shoot for 2021.
Yeah.
So I think that was it. And it's technically not my church. It's the church where my husband works. And they were a great partner last year. I think, again, it was just unanticipated for them and for me. And then I was working with somebody new. So, that much.
Well, I love I hate that you had such a huge party last year after you worked hard for the success that you had last year. So I hate that it was followed up with you're not being happy with your party this year.
par for the course for COVID. But what can you say about 2020? You've owned what could have made it better. We are going to look at how the good news is that speaking with your Ambassadolls, co-Christmas Ambassadolls, people were pleasantly surprised with their turnouts in an environment that they weren't optimistic, if that makes sense. People just weren't optimistic about Zooming. Just when you're dealing with little girls and their comments and their emotions and empowering them, it is different when you have to do that online, particularly if you're not that person that likes to speak online. That's a whole new that just offers up a total different element. Not everybody goes live on Facebook. That's not everybody's cup of tea. So that was something that a lot of people had to get information with. But in the end, 99% of the parties, were good. We had the opportunity to realize that digital bears opportunity.
And it was. I look forward to it. We do it again. I don't think I really, in my mind, grasped, and I will take the onus for this. I don't think I grasped the live concept.
Yeah.
I think had I done a live, I would have had probably a little bit more random, maybe different people I know, but I think that may have been the better avenue for me this year, and I just don't think I really thought that through. I chose Zoom because I was comfortable with Zoom and the people, and I knew who was getting it, et cetera, et cetera. But that, again, my misstep in anticipating what I thought people would be more responsive to.
Right, and that's again, this year offered us no thumbprint. No, this is how we did it last year. So, it was literally just, here's what we're going to do, and I think it's going to be magical, but we'll see what happens because it takes the event planner to roll it out. So, live does offer the opportunity to, go live and record it. So that's a whole other thing that maybe I could have done a better job in terms of communicating that to make people understand, just because I just assume, it's live, Facebook Live, go Facebook Live or go Instagram Live, and just assuming that people understood what that meant or that they had thought it out or could have thought it out better. But again, 2020, we got it handed to us. We did. Was there anything, Nick, that came out of it this year that you were able to, did you send dolls to people from last year? Were you able to do anything?
So I did. I went ahead and mailed dolls to the kids that were involved, that had signed up. I did go ahead and send those dolls out.
Good.
And then I have extra dolls from over the years here, and I had some people that had actually donated some dolls to me. So we had intended for, the church was planning on doing like a food giveaway at the holidays, and they were going to put the dolls out, but then they didn't do the food giveaway. They did it a little bit differently. So they asked if maybe after the first of the year, they could, go through, we could sit down and talk about, maybe doing something for the girls. But if I gave the church the dolls and then they wanted to hand them out, I told them, we'd see, just want to kind of just see where COVID was, and I need to know how many. And then I did give, I sent a couple of dolls to family members that I had here. Just for the holiday, but I still have probably the bulk of my dolls here.
Well, that's good. We're not a Toys for Tot. We don't just go around giving away dolls. It is associated with an empowering message and a meeting. So I didn't ask that to say, did you give anybody any dolls? Because at the end of the day, every Christmas before COVID, we always get people that come up and say, hey, can I get 4 more dolls for my grandbabies? And it's like, no, it's not how this works. It's not. This ain't that. So don't feel obligated to fill that. But if you were able to get dolls to kids that maybe participated the year before and understood what that was. And awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I appreciate the feedback. We will use this, all of the debriefings to get everybody's opinions, ideas, and concepts to look at how we move forward in 2021, knowing that we like to have those little girls in front of us and touch their cheeks and unwrap their box, and do all the stuff that you get to see when a little girl is being empowered. But also understanding that, there's some magic in me being able to show up at a Christmas party online in Ohio, that's huge. That's something I'm able to do. And then, there's been reports of people going, my Instagram grew because I went live. I had moms from different cities logging in that, I hadn't really anticipated because I went live. So there's elements there that we have to be able to look at and take advantage of. And we'll certainly do it because of everybody's feedback.
I have a question. Is there a way, assuming we do something similar 2021, is there a way for the release that we sent off and then we had folks sign, can we get an electronic version of that, or something that they can sign via Adobe DocuSign or something like that, electronically sign it and send it back to us?
Well, we are looking at paperwork as one of the resounding comments in every call, in terms of either people having hiccups with it or heartburn behind it, or thinking that they only had a week to sign it, even though I gave it to them early. Either way, at the end of the day, they missed it. So it's not a matter of anything other than opportunity. So we are having conversations, and have been since even before Christmas, because paperwork was such a nightmare, where I said to the Ambassadolls, we've got to figure out a way to automate this.
Yeah.
Because, listen, at the end of the day, paperwork, you can say that it's your nightmare, but I'm attached to that nightmare, so I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
It's not like I'm saying, here, give this to them and, let me know how it tastes on their palate. The paperwork, that nightmare, your nightmare is mine. So, yep, we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, probably looking at something on the website where we just take the Ambassadoll out of it altogether. And mom and dad goes on and fills out a submission form. Something that's just automated, that's not such a nightmare for everybody. Something that's less people management.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of us.
Okay.
Yep, so yes. Yep. Your Christmas Ambassadoll, how do you feel that role went for you, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate her?
I would give Lisa a 10, not just because I know her. She actually was really communicative. She was really patient with some of the back and forth on our text chats and things like that. I really appreciated it. It worked out, ironically, that she was able to stagger the parties. They were in all different time zones or set different days. So I appreciated having her on my call. We had a great chance to catch up and talk through, the process and things. So she did a really great job.
Awesome.
And I liked it because, similar to what we did before, I know you get 1,000 kajillion texts. So it was great, to know there was a buffer, or there was a middle level, okay, hey, what about this? And then
Good.
She coordinated with you and then back down. So it was a really good, effective way of communicating, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to not say, don't call me.
But don't call me.
Well, no.
No, I'm not
Because y'all all have the number and you call. But it's to say, don't call me, call her first.
Right.
And so that they're there, so that it's not everybody calling me, because with everything else. So that system, it's good to hear that system works. That was the very reason I put them in place, was so that y'all had that go-to person, that support system, and didn't feel as though I was just sending you off to a babysitter.
Yeah.
So good. But you can always tell on the babysitter when mama gets home.
They did really good, and God bless Latarian. I love her to death. I love Latarian. She's the highlight of all of our calls.
Latarian is the highlight of all of our calls.
Yeah.
And the reason for the season, literally, this year, for everybody getting dolls. So, Latarian. Well, I'd tell you that I'd tell her that, but she'll hear it. In terms of my performance, how would you rate it, and what would you suggest I do better?
I give you a 10. One, for dealing with all of these different personalities, different cities, different locations, mad logistics. Event planning is not easy. Anybody that says it is crazy. And then coordinating across the entire country is not easy. So I love how we were doing calls. I think it's important for us. I will take the onus too, because I'm not on Facebook as much as I used to be, and so I have to do a better job of checking the Ambassadoll house, staying in tune with all the pages and all the social media, because I was like, oh wait, we have all these other Instagram pages. I was like, wait a minute, where have I been?
Right.
So I think, considering how many of us and everything you do, you really do a great job, and I feel 110% supported in what we're doing.
Thank you.
Throughout this. Yeah, you're always very clear. I'm a person that loves direct instruction, direct conversation. I don't like to beat around the bush either. I love it that we're all adults, and so we all are like, hey, if we say a curse word or two here and there, sometimes it just has to be said. So I love your delivery sometimes. I'm like, and even when I asked my question, and I was like, I said, she got a little terse with me. I said, but that's okay. Because I just wanted to be clear. My feelings wasn't hurt or anything. I just was like, okay, I get it. I just had to ask it because it was on my brain and somebody asked it. So I never take it personal. I just appreciate it because you're like, look, this is what we said. And so I just appreciate the directness, and you always have. So this year was no different than any other year. A little bit more stressful, I think, because of the circumstances, but not really any different than previous years. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for getting being in support of my delivery. I am who I am, and yet. Everybody has to look at their leadership and their coaching style and make sure that it's in line with the team that they're in charge of. The fact of the matter is that I think you've given me a whole new word in which I will put this whole thing together next year, is logistics. Like, that really resonated with me. Mad logistics. That's huge. So logistically speaking, I'm always leading in that manner, because logistics, get information, because logistics, but also because the Black woman is the most powerful personality on the planet, and so it's like, you got to have a coach that understands that, how we roll and what that means and what she needs. So we all come from the Black family and know, our mamas operate differently because
right.
And so I for me, it's not a show. It's literally just trying to have a team of people that understand who I am and know that it's not personal. I'm just coaching.
Right.
I'm just coaching. So thank you for understanding that. No ego, just coaching. That's a T-shirt. and mad logistics.
Mad logistics. I moved departments at work, but my previous department, I coordinated a spring meeting, and I told everybody, I said, listen, I'm not on content. I said, I'm on logistics. I coordinate with the hotel. I get registration out. I get, stop. I get, all that stuff ready. So you guys can stay in the meeting and I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. Just all logistics.
Logistics. That's awesome. To the degree, Nikol, that you might have created, we might have a logistics team. Logistics. Because that's what it is. Logistics. It's logistics. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Like sometimes it's just the. I we even do like a timeline. Like, hey, we're going to launch on this date. Deadline is this date. A week before we do this, I put it on a calendar. I used to do a calendar like a year in advance. As soon as the last one's over, we do like a blank calendar for next year, and we start work from the end backwards. And that's when we figure out, okay, based on this, we're going to launch on that date, and this is when we do our check-ins on registration, and this is when we do this, and da-da-da. And everyone's like, when do we do that again? I'm like, let me look at my calendar.
Yeah.
That's not for another week. We don't get that report for 2 more weeks. So.
Yeah. And then that way, if you have a logistics calendar, you can share that. You can post that. People can have that go-to because there's a logistics. Logistics is everything. It's what we do. It's what we've always done. A movement is all about logistics. But I think what you've presented tonight is the opportunity to really get on board logistically. Right? Everybody's complaining. I'm 18 days waiting on a package from FedEx that was supposed to be expedited service, and I complain because I'm like, come on, I chose FedEx. I paid more because FedEx logistics. Like, you got one job. Get it to me from across country in 3 days because that's what I paid for, because logistics, right? I assume that you have that figured out. So even the people that are in charge of logistics sometimes get it wrong. And yet you look at companies like Amazon that get it right, and you just think, how the hell do they do that? Logistics. Mastering logistics. Life is logistic. But the question is have you mastered it? And I don't think we have. So thank you. That's the best advice I've been given today.
Well,
love it.
That one was free. That one was absolutely free.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. That was awesome. That's logistics. We got a new word. Logistics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, what are y'all doing tonight?
So we are finishing cooking, and then I think starting at 9:30, we're going to do a Zoom we're going to DJ mix, I think, for a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
Starting around 9:30. We usually my husband's working, so it's kind of funny. We're like, well, do you want to do it? Because you're not working officially tonight. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, okay. I said, how many hours do you want to do it? I said, because I won't be on this mug all night. And so he was like, we're just going to do about 3 hours, 9:30 to 12:30.
On your Facebook?
I'm doing Zoom. I can have up to 100 people. So I will send you the link.
Okay.
If you're actually on West Coast, and I'll send a couple people the link. I think I can only have 100 people. I don't think 100 people are going to join, but so we're just going to go until we get full, and then go from there.
You should post. You should post the link in the Ambassadoll group.
Okay.
And just have people log in. Of course, we're all going to be in different places at different times, but mostly at home. So.
So some people may stay out till midnight in their zone and be like, okay,
yeah, and just turn you on. Got you in the background. I love it. Okay, if you send me the link, I'll share it.
Okay, perfect. I'll send it to you here.
Cool. We have a gift coming to you all from Mattel. I shared with you that it would be the 2020 Barbie. Unfortunately, I shared with you all too early. I put it out there because Mattel said I could have it and that they would ship me the dolls that I requested. And then I shared it, and we reshared it, and then we sold it out. And then they came in and said, hey, Mama Doll, we can't give you that doll. That's come off the list of giveaway. So I learned another lesson this year. Until you've got that doll in your hand, don't put it on the internet, because then you can't get it. So, but we've got backup a gift that's coming, and it's going to be lovely and just as beautiful. But not until I get my hot little hands on it will I let y'all know what it is.
Thank you very much.
Mattel, you're welcome. Mattel gets back January 4th, so once I get that confirmation and we get them shipped, then I will get them out to you all. But you do have a gift coming to say thank you to celebrate our 10 years with Barbie.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, darling. Okay, well, listen, I'll see you on the jam. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.